The first recipe I want to do today is for ram burgers. Now, of course, the ram long been associated with the county of Derbyshire. It's a mascot, of course, for Derby County Football Club and for the Sherwood Foresters Regiment. And as the old poem goes, as I was going to Derby upon a market day, I saw the finest ram, sir, that ever was fed on hay. Now, how far back that poem goes, I have no idea, but what I've got today is some lovely minced lamb, about £2, and all I've done with that is just chop into it a little bit, just to make it a bit finer. It is beautifully minced, and you just need to chop through it a little bit. To that, ever such a simple recipe this, to that all you need are 4 slices of white bread, ordinary white bread. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, and what you need to do with that is blitz it down to breadcrumbs. Now I've got started, they just need another blitz, but you want fairly fine breadcrumbs, and what they do is bind the mince together really with the egg, and they make it stick, if you like. The only other thing is an onion, which I fried off earlier. We'll have a look at that in a minute. You just need to fry an onion till it's soft, and I've just been letting it cool down before I add it to my mince. And the only other thing then is seasoning on top of that. So what I want to do now is just blitz these breadcrumbs for a few more seconds, so bear with me, please. And that's fine. Oop, there we go. So we'll have those out and use those in a moment. Okie dokie, I'm just going to go over and get the onion first and get that in. As I say, I've cooled it off, so I'm just going to go over to there. Yeah, that's super. That's just 1 onion that you just need to put in with the mince. There we are. And of course, the wonderful thing about a recipe like this is you can add what you like to it in terms of seasoning. You know, you could spice them up a bit and have a bit of chilli powder in, paprika. I'm just using salt and pepper and a little bit of thyme, and that'll be fine. But as I say, a little bit of tomato puree even will be wonderful. Now my thyme, dried thyme is actually quite pungent. It does give quite a strong flavour, so probably for what I've got here, half teaspoon, that's probably about as much as you need. To that, I'm going to add the breadcrumbs. Now, I've blitzed down 4 slices. You kind of just need to be a bit circumspect as to how much of that you need. You might not need it all, it's just to bind together. Throw it all in, that'll be fine. Okay, now before I add my egg, I'm going to get in here, my hands are lovely and clean, and I'm going to get down with it, because it's the only way that you can mix something like this is with your hands, basically. Get in there, get it all mixed together. I'm going to do the same when I add the egg. Get it right in and get those breadcrumbs through the meat so that it's all evenly distributed. And it's a real, I love jobs like this. I really do. I love really getting down in there, getting it all in. That's great. And get your onion in. And it smells lovely already, actually, with that thyme. Let's just add the egg. So that's 1 egg beaten. And again, get in there and get that egg mixed in. And this will be... Now, what I'm going to do with this, I'm mixing it up. I'm going to make it into the burgers. And then I'm going to pop them in the fridge, really for as long as you need, but a good couple of hours, and it helps them to firm up. And I just find anything like this, whether you're making meatloaf, which is basically the same recipe, or meatballs, anything like that, let it settle in the fridge, because it just firms up with the egg and the breadcrumbs. It just helps to make a nice, and you can see there how that's coming together. And I'm going to turn it onto my board in a minute. I'm going to make my burgers. That's lovely. And this should make, this will feed a family of 4 easily. In fact, you'll probably feed 6, because I've got quite a lot of mince here. And of course they can be frozen. My meat wasn't frozen before, so they can easily be frozen. Right, so get that on your board. That is lovely. Now what you want to do is really literally just hack off bits of the mixture, Just make sure all your burgers are the same size, only because it looks better, and of course they cook evenly then. Now that is easily going to make about 8 burgers, and you see, just mould it, pat it like, oh, that's going to be superb, absolutely delicious. So there we are, keep them about the same, and then, as I say, I'm going to chill these down for as long as I can, because it does help to keep them nice and firm. They are going to be lovely, and then we're going to come back to these later and cook them off. And of course they'll be lovely served with a nice salad in a burger bap, with some nice crispy French fries if you've got them. So here are my lovely ram burgers. They've had about 2 hours in the fridge, so they've been chilled down, they're nice and firm. I've preheated the grill to a medium heat. I've oiled my grill pan. I'm just going to oil the burgers. I think they're quite meaty, remember, it's all meat, so I think they're going to take a good quarter of an hour each side. Keep your eye on them, that's the main thing. So there they are, nicely oiled. Pop them under the grill, and then we'll have a look at them in about 10 minutes, quarter of an hour, and see what they're like. Super.